The Astral Academy. Episode 7. Secrets of the Library. The old library wing of Westbridge High, long forgotten, stood behind heavy wooden doors covered in dust. Students whispered about it, stories of shadows, locked shelves, and teachers who refused to speak of its past. Most thought it was just abandoned, a relic of the school's history. But Kai knew better. Kai, 16-year-old, messy dark brown hair, gray hoodie, dark blue jeans, black sneakers, quiet, and thoughtful expression, felt the sphere calling him here. The alien sphere inside his backpack, glowing faint blue with shifting liquid-like symbols, pulsed stronger whenever he walked this hallway. Tonight, with Ms. Lyra at his side, it pulled him directly to the doors. Ms. Lyra, tall, late 20s, sharp green eyes, dark brown hair tied neatly back. Wearing a navy blouse and black skirt, calm but commanding presence, placed her hand on the handle. Her voice dropped low. This place was never just a library, was built as a vault, to guard the portals. Inside, the air was heavy, stale, and cold. Tall wooden bookshelves sagged under the weight of dust, broken lamps dangled from the ceiling, piles of old textbooks littered the floor, strange alien-like carvings were etched into the cracked walls, faintly glowing in the sphere's light. It moved deeper, past shelves lined with journals and ancient maps. In the far corner, they found a hidden alcove, carved with glowing blue Elythian symbols, spiral circles across the stone. Inside were scrolls and blueprints, showing diagrams of portals under the school. Kai's heart pounded. He realized the truth. Westbridge High was not an ordinary school at all. It was built directly on top of a portal nexus. The Elythians had left it centuries ago, but now the Krythar were returning to claim it, Kai whispered to himself. So I wasn't chosen by accident, but they weren't alone. In the shadows between shelves, Sophie, blonde hair loose around her pink sweater and denim skirt, white sneakers dusty from the floor, hid nervously, wide eyes peeking through books. She had followed him. From hiding, she saw the sphere glowing in Kai's hands. She heard the word Krythar. She covered her mouth to keep from gasping, but her fear betrayed her. A book slipped from her hand and hit the floor. The sound echoed. Kai spun, sphere blazing faint blue. "Who's there?" His voice cracked. Sophie ducked lower, heart racing. Before he could step closer, the room darkened. The lamps flickered out one by one. A low growl rumbled from the walls. Then, from the ceiling, shadows began to pour like smoke. The Claw Man Krythar emerged. Taller than before, claws sharper, his iron-black body dripping with red glowing veins. And he was not alone. Two more Krythar shadows formed behind him, smaller but equally twisted, claws scraping sparks across the shelves. Kai and Lyra backed up, the sphere glowing bright blue symbols swirling fast, casting light against the blackness. The battle began between Krythar and Kai. The first strike was brutal. The Claw Man slashed his claws across a row of bookshelves, splintering wood, sending books flying like birds. Pages scattered in the air as Kai raised the sphere, its shield glowing blue, blocking the attack. Sparks of blue and red clashed, lighting up the dust-filled air. Lyra lifted her hand, silver light glowing from her palm, symbols flashing across her skin, blasting one Krythar back into a shelf. The creature shattered the wood, crawling back up like liquid metal reforming. Kai pushed Sophie behind a desk as another Krythar lunged. The sphere burst with blue energy, a wave crashing across the room, toppling chairs and scattering books. Sophie screamed, clutching her head, watching in terror as her friend unleashed powers she had never imagined. The fight spread across the library. In the aisles of books, Kai ducked under claws, blasting blue light upward, knocking a Krythar into the ceiling beams. At the stone alcove, Lyra fought the Claw Man directly, her silver energy clashing with his red claws, sparks flying like lightning. Near the portal markings on the walls, Sophie stumbled, nearly pulled into a crackling red shadow portal that opened briefly. Kai dived, grabbing her hand just before she was dragged in, pulling her back with all his strength. But the Claw Man roared, slamming both claws into Kai's shield. The impact cracked the stone floor, dust raining down from the ceiling. The shield flickered, nearly breaking. Kai gritted his teeth, sweat dripping down his forehead, forcing every ounce of will into the sphere. With one last surge, The sphere exploded in light. A blinding blue energy swept across the library, shattering shelves, scattering Krythar shadows into smoke. The Claw Man reeled back, his body dissolving into black mist, his red eyes burning before fading into the dark. The remaining Krythar melted away with him, vanishing like ash in the wind. Silence. Books and debris lay everywhere, smoke rising from cracked shelves. Sophie stood trembling, tears in her eyes. She had seen too much. She stepped toward Kai slowly, voice shaking. "You can't hide it anymore." "I know what you are." Kai froze, unable to speak. And in the corner of the ruined library, hidden in shadows, the school janitor crouched low, his hand gripping a shard of black Krythar, residue glowing faint red. He smirked, pulling a small alien communicator from his pocket and whispering into it. The library had revealed its secrets, but betrayal was already in motion. The shadows had been driven back, but not destroyed. And now Kai's secret was no longer his alone. Stay tuned for Episode 8, The Betrayal.